Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Focus on Greatness podcast. My name is Hiram Roche, HR, for those that know me, and it is always an honor to be able to be here with you, my greatness tribe. Hey, listen, I am excited about this conversation because I believe that this talk that we'll have right now is going to be able to help us as we are continuing this thought of talking about greatness and looking at what greatness is and walking in this as a day to day. We have to be able to understand and see also the impact of what that looks like. And so the other day, I was kind of sitting and having some discussions, and in the midst of that discussion, this thought came up, which we're going to talk about tonight. It's going to be coming out of Matthew's chapter 5, verses 13, is where this thought is going to be. And in Matthew's chapter 5, verse 13, this is what it says. This says, "You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt has lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men." Now, let's back this up so we can understand where we are. This context of conversation is Jesus's first talk to the disciples, to the multitude of people. This is a teaching that he's doing where some call it the Beatitudes, where he is on the mountain talking to, giving unto his people their attitudes, how their attitudes should be. After he gives that in the first 12 verses, now he gets to this verse that we just read in verses 13, and now he's giving unto them some form of identity. He's allowing them to be able to see what the impact that they would make, what type of mode they will be functioning in as they are walking in this attitude, as they are living this journey out. He's letting them know this is what you're called to be. You're called to be the salt of the earth. And so when this context of being the thought salt, we have to understand what he's meaning and what the group of individuals that he's talking to. He's talking to a bunch of fishermen. He's talking to a group of individuals that understand that salt is used to preserve, as well as salt was used to give seasoning. Now, we understand the context of seasoning and a lot of other health benefits that does come with having salt. But what we want to be able to lean into this thought is that salt was used to preserve. Now, if we look at it in this concept, then we need to be able to really see throughout this verse of scripture that we're going to read again, we need to be able to see how does that funnel into my everyday life? How does that funnel into me walking and functioning in my greatness? How does that mean? What does that mean to me in this journey? Now, let's look at it again and be able to understand. It says again in Matthew 5 and 13, you are not just, he's not talking about himself, he's talking about us. We are the salt of the earth. But if the salt has lost his savor, now what is we talking about in this context? Meaning, if the salt has lost its effect, if the salt has lost its power, if the salt has lost its influence, if the salt is not doing what the salt is supposed to do, then wherewith shall it be salted? How can it even be effective? How can I even call you or say that you're functioning in the thing that you're supposed to function in if what you're not doing is preserving? We're going to keep going. It says, it shall thenceforth be good for nothing but to be cast out and be trodden under the foot of men. In a nutshell, listen, if I'm not walking in this thing, if I'm not preserving certain things, if I'm not doing these pieces, then it says, listen, you are basically in a position where people are going to walk over you, where people are going to walk over on you. People are going to take advantage of that because why? You're not being affected. And those that are not being effective, those that are not walking as salt and functioning as salt, they're not preserving certain things, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. But if they're not preserving certain things, then the reality is that they are not effective, and there are people that are taking advantage, that are walking over, that are doing certain things because you're not walking in what you're supposed to do. So when I looked at this context, when this thought came to mind, when I started to really look into it, there were some questions that I wanted to be able to answer, or more so ask you, but I answered even for my own self, is because the reality that we have to come to understand is if we are supposed to be walking as salt on the earth, that means that we are preserving the life of something. We are slowing down for the earth itself, slowing down the death process. For certain people's dreams, we are preserving them. We're preserving their dream. We're preserving their hope. We're making sure that we're preserving the life of the people around us, the life of people that we're going to impact, the life of people that God is going to align us to be able to walk in their journey one way or another. We're preserving certain things. So if we, as the salt of the earth, are supposed to be preserving, then the question that we have to be able to answer then is, who are you preserving? Now, are you preserving in reference to in your household? Are you preserving in reference to with your friends? Are you preserving with your job? Are you preserving in different areas? Now, I'm using this word preserving on purpose because the reality of what we have to be able to see and know is, am I being effective enough with those around me to be able to make sure that their joy is not dying out, that their hope is not dying out, that their dream is not dying out? Because here's the context of what we understand is that in life, there are going to be challenges. There is going to be struggles. There are going to be ups and there is going to be downs. And my objective and my job and responsibility is, if you are encountering me in your life, I should be able to slow down the process of you giving up on your dream. I should be able to slow down the process of you wanting to quit and check out in life. I should be able to slow down the process of you being able to walk away and not be able to walk in your financial freedom. I should slow down the process. I should help preserve something in your life so that you can be able to fulfill and do the thing that you're called and supposed to do in life. But if I'm not leaning into my call, if I'm not leaning into my dream, if I'm not leaning into my assignment, then what ends up happening is I walk away or walk into allowing people to live around me that lives are not being changed in the aspect of their dreams are dying around me and I'm not helping to keep it afloat. Now, then the question then comes is, how do I do this? What am I utilizing to be able to make sure that individuals around me, that people that I will influence or talk to or speak into, whatever that thing might be, what am I using to be able to do that? Because if I'm supposed to be preserving something, there is something that is already within me that helps me do this job well. There's not something that I got to go purchase. It's not something that I have to go grab from somebody else. No, it's what is in me already helps to preserve you. For example, me being here, having these different dialogues of conversation, it helps to preserve people in their journey. It's helping them not to quit. It's helping them not to be able to give up on their dreams. Some people, it's helping them not to give up on life in general. But whatever the context of my assignment does, it allows people to get preserved. And so we have to recognize and understand what is the thing that God is utilizing within you to help preserve someone else. Is he using your story? You know, that journey, the thing that you went through, the struggles that you had, and some of the struggles that you currently still have, is he utilizing that to be able to use that to speak into someone else's life so that that individual don't give up? Is he utilizing that he has blessed you and put you in positions of financial success, financial gain, where you can be able to sow into someone else's life that helps to preserve the dream that they had to be able to have their own business? Or to be able to give someone the wisdom that you have gained because of the things that you have done, the experiences that you have done in reference to your job life, your business life, whatever that is he utilizing that to be able to say, listen, I'm going to align you with this person. I'm going to let you pour into this individual. I'm going to connect your journey and I'm going to let you cross paths with someone because I want to use the wisdom that you've gained in this to be able to pour into this individual to preserve them. Why? Because every person that we are encountering, including yourself, every person, including me, every single person in a season, in some form of time in their lives, they're going to need someone that can help preserve them. They're going to need somebody that can encourage them. They're going to need somebody that's going to give them the key, the wisdom, the idea to be able to unlock their next season when they want to quit the season that they're in. There's a context. I remember studying something some time back, and there was a context of where I was studying the timeline of David. Now, David in the Bible is a very, very important or powerful man. He allows us to be able to see, and I really want to be eventually do a conversation or a real deep study about David, because I believe that David gives unto us, specifically as men, give unto us a picture of how to be able to walk this journey with all the different struggles, with all the different pain points, with all the different ups and downs, the times that he messed up, the times that he succeeded, with all of these different pieces that we are able to see. We're able to give a glimpse of what I consider greatness really looks like through the life of David. But the scripture allows us to be able to see something. While I was looking at his timeline, there was a moment where David was frustrated with life. He is the youngest out of his siblings. He's the one that basically we all hear in some form of way that he's the one that's been forgotten. He's the one that's always in the back that really don't get the attention. He's the shepherd boy shepherding his father's flock. So he's always in the distance, always in a place where he's the normal regular people are not seeing him, because he's the shepherd that's always in the field. And the scripture says, allows us to be able to recognize and see that David now is in a place where he's frustrated. He's frustrated with life. He's so tired of everything that's going on, and he's frustrated with how his family has treated him and the way that he is feeling internally. He's just so agitated with it, to the point where David is literally at a point of a very low point in his life, where he's literally thinking and wanting to just check this out, man. I'm just out. I'm done. And the scripture says, allows us to be able to see based on his timeline, that while he's complaining and talking about how he's ready to quit, while he's frustrated with everything that's going on, while he's agitated and so irritated with the things that he's dealing with, the people in his life, the situation that he's in, while he's looking at all of these different scenarios and situations, at the same exact time, there's a man by the name of Samuel, a prophet that has come, that is searching for David. And the reason why he's searching for David is because there's an assignment that David has. There's a call that David has, that God has called David to do. And the person that God used and chose to use to be able to release this was a man by the name of Samuel. While David's in the field crying and frustrated and agitated about life, Samuel is coming with the oil to be able to anoint him as king. So you have the person that's coming to preserve the life of this individual by using the oil, by the next level, by the assignment that's on David's life. But David is over here frustrated and agitated with everything around him and ready to give up and quit. But what if Samuel never showed up? What if Samuel said, I don't want to do this? What if Samuel said, talking to people makes me uncomfortable? What if Samuel said, I don't know what's in me. I don't know if I have it to be able to give. What if Samuel would have stayed in his own frustration and pain because the person that he anointed as king is no longer qualified any longer to be king, and he's been mourning and crying because of this same context? What if Samuel would have said, I'm not going? The person that was supposed to be preserved, to be able to be king over Israel, to be a part of the lineage of what we consider as the lineage that connects us to be able to connect it to Jesus. What if that individual, what if Samuel would have said, I don't want to walk as the salt. I don't want to preserve this. I don't want to do my assignment. The dynamics would have changed. So in our own walk and journey, we have to remember you are the salt of the earth, and I need you to be effective. I'm not asking you to be on stages. I'm not asking you to be big and popular and successful in all of these different ways of what we look at. What I'm asking for us to be able to do, and what I believe that this push is for this conversation, is I really just want you to be effective, make an impact. Preserve someone's dream, preserve someone's destiny by doing the assignment that's on your life. It doesn't mean that you're going to have to stand on stages. It don't mean that. It just means that on your journey, there is someone that crossing your path. And the person that's crossing your path, they need what's in you. Even if it's just for that season, even if it's just for that moment, they need the thing that's in you. They need that joy that you have. They need that wisdom that you have. They need your story. They need the gift that's within you. They need that love that you have that is attractive to people. They need what's in you, because what's in you is used as the salt that's preserving someone's life. So the question then is, for you and for me, is what you're going to do. Are you going to continue to kind of walk around and act like nothing's happening, and just only thing that you're focused on is your own personal journey and what you're personally going through? Are you going to sit around and just allow people and scenarios to keep walking past you and feeling like some people feel on the job, that ain't what I get paid to do? That's above my pay grade. What are you going to do? Jesus is teaching a story. He's giving unto this group of individuals a parable. And this parable, he's talking about what we consider as the Good Samaritan. Now we can look at this angle and we can look and see that there was a man that fell and basically got beat up and robbed, left to die. And while he is now struggling to be able to live, we see priests and different levels of people walking past him that is of his same nationality. These people are supposed to be the ones that was supposed to be the salt to help preserve. But they did not. They kept moving. They walked. They kept going. They passed him by. Some crossed the street. They did not stay or use their gift, their skill, their financial aspects to be able to help preserve. But then there was a man, a Samaritan man, which normally, according to the context of time, was your enemy. He came and preserved him. Scripture says he took him, picked him up, put him on top of his own horse, rode him to a hotel, got him some medical assistance, paid for the hotel room, paid for the medical assistance, and said, look, if there's any other bills that come up in between, let me know, and I'll come. When I get back, I'll take care of the rest of the note. But make sure that you preserve this man's life. He was just being a good Samaritan. Really, he was just being a good person. And he utilized the things that he had to be able to preserve someone's life. He used his funds. He just had money. He took care of this man. He had love. He had compassion. So today, tomorrow, the rest of this week, what I need you to do is go preserve. Look inside and see, what do I have? You got a whole lot within you. Sometimes even myself do this, where I discredit all that I have. I belittle sometimes the skills or the things that I have within me. But the reality is, you have in you right now the thing that you need to make the most impact in the lives of the people that you encounter. So, what are you going to do? Will you be the salt of the earth? Or will you allow your gift, your skill, the wisdom, the finances, and the things that God has blessed you to have go to waste and be good for nothing? And the only thing it's good for is to be thrown on the ground and let men just walk all over it. I hope not. I hope you take advantage of the gift that God has given unto both of us and go make the impact that you're supposed to make. I love you all. And I see you next time right here on the Focus on Greatness podcast. Talk to y'all later.